So I got none of the things I wanted to do done because I noticed one little thing that annoyed me, and I spent most of my day, I mean, I even ignored other non-Gamey Boy responsibilities because this one thing just really annoyed me. You're not going to see it now, but what I will show you is the universe. I made a GIF to ask somebody online what the hell's happening. So here's the GIF. Ignore the fact that it's not a perfect loop. I don't care, that's not the point. What we're focusing here on is that the red bar that indicates the value or location of the critter is going ever so slightly above the max possible value. Now what's happening here? Well, the universe is pooping on my dooples. What's happening here is I didn't have this line initially. So what we were doing was we were checking fixed update, which is called 50 times a second at fixed intervals. This was actually boop down here to make it even worse. So we were saying, all right, the location 2, which is a number, is now this. Move the baby to there. Ignore that, that's irrelevant. Then we're going to check, like, all right, did it go to the max location or even above it? Well, if it went above it, then it's the max location. And now we're going to change the direction. Lots of things wrong here. First of all, by doing this, we're moving the baby and then checking if it's in the right place, which will cause stuttering. So problem 1, fixed. Problem 2, it could still potentially be ever so slightly above, and that's because the way fixed update works and math that I don't feel like getting into because I'm a dumb boy. I'm a firing laser. Yeah, the way the math works ever so slightly, we're talking about like a fraction of a fraction. So if it can only go to 200, it will still go to like 200.00023. And that's enough to cause physics headaches, especially at the higher speeds. Like when the speed really gets cranked up towards the end of the gameplay loop. Yeah, for one frame, it is not in the right place, and that could be a doozy. I love this music. It's called Slice of Life. So Math Clamp fixes that. So what we're doing is we're again, like, all right, location, your next spot's going to be here. Whoops. Your next spot's going to be here, but I want you to know that you best be staying between your minimum and your maximum. So we check that first, meaning like if location by nature of this formula goes above 200, the max location, then it's 200. It's basically doing this, right? So we don't need this anymore. Boop. Ooh, numbers are hard when you're trying to stay in frame of your face. Boop. Boop. We also don't need to worry about being greater than because it doesn't be greater than. So that solves that problem. And then afterwards we go, all right, now you can move to the location. That completely solves this problem. But it did start leading me to other problems, and that being, let's see if I can display it. Yeah, you load that assembly. Pwah! Alright. Game starts. Dreams come true. Play. I want you to pay mind to how fast that fade was. That was the way I want the fade to look, or at least for the time being, because whatever, it's not important. But then when we die, see how it's slow. Now, I did this on purpose because I wanted to express what the problem was. The fade was attached to frame rate. FPS. Frames per second. And because of that, depending on how fast or slow your machine is, it would fade faster or slower. Not good. Not good at all. So what was happening was your editor runs in like a gajillion frames a second. So the speed of the fade looked different than it did when I actually built the game into a standalone application. It was much slower. Like, man, how do I fix this? So the fix was actually really easy too. It unfortunately just took all damn day to figure out what was happening. So the problem was, at this coroutine, which all of them really, that are the code that makes the fade happen, right? So we take the color of the screen, we change its alpha level, which is its transparency level, and then we waited for the end of the frame, which was all fine and dandy until we built the game, and it's now running at my computer speed, not my editor speed. So we've changed it to wait for fixed update, which is that same fixed interval that we talked about to move the critter. I did that on the fade to opaque, but I didn't do it on the fade to transparent. And that's why, when we play, fade to transparent, it still moves super fast because we're in the editor, and it's a ridiculous, meticulous baby pigeon. But when we die, in the fade to opaque, I'm too good, I can't die. Now that goes by fixed interval. Now, that is always 50 times a second that gets called, which makes it so much easier to fine-tune and tweak how fast we want the animation, the movement, the change to happen. Awesome stuff. Learning, babies. But I didn't do any of the other shit I wanted to do. So, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to dance on the moon with Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.